Happy Hour Batman. I'm Ben. I'm an Episcopal priest and co-founder of the All Ports Open Network. On this show, Holy Happy Hour Batman, I am joined by heroes of the gaming and geek world to talk about life, faith, spirituality, game design, philosophy, and whatever else comes up. This show is a production of the All Ports Open Network at allportsopen.com. Check out our website for all of our great shows, our great lineup of podcasts and streams, where we share, make, and talk about great stories. Tonight's episode is a very special first for my show. Tonight I am joined by two amazing game designers, Gabrielle Rabinowitz and Ben Bisogno, who were on the show before to talk about their game Nishtana, Why Is This Night Different? And about Jewish game design. Nishtana is a Passover game, and I was really excited about the show. I asked them to come back, and they did. They met virtually together again with me and my wife, Mel, who is my co-host of the podcast, Pot of Love. We got together again virtually, and we played Nishtana and recorded an actual play of the show. An actual play of their game. So this episode tonight will be the first half of the, I guess it's still a playtest because I don't think that game is finalized, but it's going to be the first half of our actual play of Nishtana. There is one thing I need to tell you before we start here. I didn't catch it in time while we were making the show, this episode, to fix it, but the overlay was confused and the name tags are in the wrong place. So you're going to see in a minute that, I think Ben Bisogno is labeled Gabrielle. I'm sorry about that. So we all do introduce ourselves, so that should be clear who everyone is, I think, at the start of the episode. So again, I apologize for that mistake, but it's a really fun episode. And we do fix it at some point, so you'll see that as it goes. But it's a really, really fun episode, really fun play of the game. The game is amazing. I can't recommend checking it out enough. It's a really good game, which you're about to experience right now. I learned a lot. It implements really cool safety tools into the game. It was built for online, and we played it online, which is really cool. So you're going to get to see all that in just a moment. But before we do that, it is still happy hour, and so in front of you, you can see now on the screen here, on the computer, the drink that I made inspired by this game, The Bitterness You Have Known. So if you check out this, on the screen here, yeah, there we go, you can see, I wanted this to be inspired by the Passover Seder, so a little bit. So I referenced a site that makes Passover Seder inspired cocktails. And so I have a recipe card for this drink, which I'll share on social media, and it has the reference to that website if you want to check it out. But you can see here what's in this drink. So there's a local spirits company near me called Boardroom Spirits in Lansdale, PA, and they make a beet vodka. So it's 3 ounces of the beet vodka, a 1/4 ounce of triple sec, 2 to 3 dashes of absinthe bitters, 1 small beet, raw and peeled, and a stick of peeled red beet for garnish. So what you're going to do is you're going to, it's hard for me to read on the screen how I made this drink, and it's been a little bit since I made it. I wonder if I can, here we go. I got it for myself. So you're going to cut the beet into pieces, and then you're going to muddle that with about 1 ounce of the beet spirit. So just take 1 ounce of the 3 ounces of the boardroom beet spirit and muddle in the beet pieces with it. Then you're going to add the remaining ingredients, fill with ice, and shake thoroughly. And then you're going to strain well using some sort of mesh strainer into a martini glass. So you really add a lot of ice, shake it out so it's really, really cold. And then you're going to strain it out into a martini glass, and you're going to garnish it with a stick of peeled red beet. So it is very beet flavored, but if you like that kind of taste, I think it's really good. The Boardroom Beet Vodka is really earthy and delicious. I really like it. They have a carrot vodka too. But the beet vodka is really good. Okay, so that's all I have for now. I hope you enjoy the actual play stream of Nishtana, and I will see you at the end on the other side of the episode. Enjoy. Hey, it's Holy Happy Hour Batman, and I'm Father Ben. I'm an Episcopal priest, a game enthusiast, and this is my Monday night Twitch show here at That Gamer Priest on Twitch. This is a first for Holy Happy Hour Batman. I'm really, really excited. This is the first time we played a game on the show rather than talk about TTRPGs. So I'm really excited, and I've got some amazing people with me. I'm very thrilled to let them introduce themselves. But first, before we re-greet everybody who's been on the show before, this is another first because my my wife, Mel, who is my co-host of the podcast Pot of Love, has never been on Holy Happy Hour Batman, but is here with us. So, Mel, would you introduce yourself and say hi to folks, please?
I'm pretty sure you just introduced me. But hi, everybody. I'm Mel. I'm Ben's wife. I'm his co-host on Pot of Love. And this is my first appearance on Holy Happy Hour Batman.
Do you want to tell us your pronouns, preferred pronouns?
Oh, good question. My preferred pronouns are she and her.
Great. And now we have some returning folks to the show. I'm so excited about this. Welcome back.
Hello. My name is Ben, and I go by he, him pronouns. My favorite aquatic animal is a beluga whale. And I'm so thankful for my roommate, Keisuke, for he's kind of being quiet and starting the day because he knows there's this, I'm on a big show right now, so I really appreciate it.
Ooh, a big show. I love that you called it a big show. It's great. Thank you for saying that. Welcome back, Ben. It's so exciting.
And then I'm here. Thank you
I was just going to say shout out to Ben's roommate. That's all.
Yeah. I want to say I'm so happy to be here, and thank you for having us back, Benjamin. I'm here with my cousin and the lead designer of this game, Gabrielle.
Thanks, Ben. I really don't consider myself the lead designer. Ben's just been doing some amazing work editing and adding text into our game, so this is a co-created product. But yeah, we're here again with our game Nishtana. Why is this night different? My name is Gabrielle Rabinowitz, Ben's cousin. I'm here in Brooklyn. I'm an educator, a game designer, game player, and it's really an honor to be back on this show and to get to play this game with all of you.
Thank you for bringing the game to play. After we talked about it on the show, I was just dying to play it, and I think that I really wanted Mel to be able to play with us because, I just thought she was going to love this game as well. From all the conversation we had, I was like, this is the perfect game for Mel to play. So I was excited about making that happen, and so this is just a treat for us, actually. So thank you for coming into our Saturday night when we're actually filming this rather than the normal stream time, and giving us the gift of playing together. So I'm really excited.
Hey, Ben Wallis. Can you talk a little bit about why you think I might like the game? Because folks watching might be interested in it for the same reason.
Well, Mel and I kind of naturally have a lot of conversations about religious traditions and religious backgrounds and cultures and things like that. It comes up all the time. And Mel was always like, you ask me questions about different religions and Christianity because, I might know a little bit more than she does about them, but I don't know much more than she actually does about them, but she's always asking me. So we're always trying to learn. We're always she's just the kind of person I think that is constantly exploring, wanting to learn about different religious backgrounds and traditions and experiences and rituals. And it's something that we do a lot in our lives personally. I don't know. Yeah. So that's why I think, this should.
I think it's also very important to point out the fact that we walked past the mosque last night, and I had many questions that neither of us could answer. But I will say that the tile on the building was gorgeous, and I look forward to looking further into those answers.
And the background,
maybe in a different game.
Yeah, the background.
Right, I'm curious about that too.
Yeah, so the background of that story is a mosque I had attended to in seminary. So it's we were invited to go to that very mosque we happened to be at, walking past, and I got a tour of it, but then I didn't remember honestly so much of what I was taught that day, many years ago in seminary. So anyway, yeah, so that's kind of what was fresh in my mind last night. I was like, you're gonna love tomorrow night's playing Nishtana, so I'm really excited about this. Plus, we play games. Mel and I play games together all the time. Although Pot of Love is on break, so we're on height.
Still play games.
Sure, we still play games, but cool. So I'm gonna pass the torch, if it's a torch, over to you to guide us through this experience.
Thanks so much. So for anyone who's tuning into this who hasn't already heard Ben and myself talking about Nishtana, I'll just introduce our game a bit. So Nishtana, Why Is This Night Different, is a story game, a tabletop role-playing game. a ritual ceremony modeled on the Passover Seder, but only loosely based thereon. The game started with Ben and myself driffing at an actual Passover Seder at my parents' house, and now it's turned into a fully fledged game where you tell your own version of the story of Exodus from Egypt, and each player embodies a character. And while the story is different every time, it always has themes of freedom from oppression, of finding your place, of finding your home and your relationships with others. And so we're really excited to see what it turns into this time.
I just saw Dune, and I was totally thinking about this game because I was like, oh my gosh, Dune is all of those themes.
Yeah, so we need to have like a Dune setting for this game.
I was thinking about that. It's such a good idea. Yeah, Ben's mind is blown. Yeah, it's a really good idea.
I was thinking, this is actually unrelated to our game, but Melissa, the Golden Cobra challenge, the Golden Cobra challenge is a competition of little LARPs, like mini games that people get to play like physically. This year it's all made for Zoom, and this year one of the themes is minority religious experiences. And so all of those like free games are going to come out at the beginning of Metatopia in November. So I would totally suggest checking it out.
My gosh, that sounds like a treasure trove of people to have on the show.
Regardless of that, that's great for Ben and his show, but that sounds awesome. Thank you. I'm going to definitely check that out.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, maybe by the time when is Metatopia again?
Well, it's the remote version is Halloween weekend, I think, but I don't know if they're waiting to release the games until November.
I think they will be announced during Metatopia, so at least to the end of the first week of November.
Well, almost definitely then those games are out now. When you're watching this, those are probably out, so you should find them. And if I'm savvy, I'll find the link to it and put it in the show notes for this very video you're watching, if I remember to do that. If future Ben remembers to do that. So, cool, very exciting.
All right, should we get started?
I'd love to.
Okay, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for tonight's Nishtana play session. So I know we had originally budgeted 3 hours, but it's already almost 6:30. So do you all still want to go for 3 hours? Do we want to do 2.5 hours?
I saw Ben shaking his head yes, so I'm not sure if that was a yes to the 3 hours or yes to the 2.5 hours.
I'm comfortable with anything, but it's up to Ben and Melissa.
How much do we sacrifice if we do 2.5 hours? Because I promised Mel that we would go to 9.
We can make it work, right, Ben? We may just have to. It'll just influence our choices of which scenes to play.
Yeah, this game has a number of different avenues you can go through, and like you can pick and choose. The game is basically a constellation, and so you will get to the end where the Jews. The Hebrew people are delivered safely from Egypt, or from Pharaoh at least, no matter what. But how you get there is up to us, and so we can just pick and choose what little scenes we want to do to get there. So we can do 2.5.
Cool.
Perfect.
Let's do that then.
Great, thanks. So given that, that's helpful information. First of all, I just want to say, thank you all for coming. This is a remote gathering, but still a gathering. And we're going to together tell the tale of the Hebrew Exodus from Egypt. We're going to share in a fight for freedom, and together we're going to discover the power of collective action. Now, this game is going to take a lot of liberties from the conventional narrative of Exodus. We've come from different religious traditions, the four of us, but we all have some connection to this story. So we can discuss in this moment as a group how comfortable we are diverging from convention. Do we want to stick closely to a traditional narrative, which we'll actually get a chance to kind of all review together? Or are we comfortable going wild, bringing in magic and all just sort of whatever pops into our head? This is an open conversation, and anyone who feels strongly can share their thoughts.
I don't feel strongly. Mel, do you have thoughts about that, preferences about that?
So as a former English major and somebody who loves to create new versions of old stories, I am totally fine with adding things, changing things, playing around with the story. I would just love to tell a good story. So I'm game for whatever.
Great. And in a minute, we'll discuss, sorry, I'm just going to presume that Ben says go nuts because I know Ben.
Go nuts. So I do want to delve into like I want to have like little moments of like really tight drama between our characters.
Ooh.
You know, so no matter what, I like want to have like that personal one-on-one moments, if possible.
Thanks for sharing that. I love that. So there are going to be a lot of resources as we play, mechanics to support us. So even if, as we've now established, we're gonna feel free to bring any elements we want into the game, there are going to be a lot of tools we have to make ourselves feel as safe as possible and to navigate any spaces that cause discomfort in any of us. We're going to really support each other in that, and I'll share some ways we'll do that. But continuing to sort of set the stage for our game, we also want to talk a little bit about tone. This story can be told in many different ways. This story can be told as a tale of suffering. This story could be told as a tale of humor or anything in between. So does anyone, again, have any strong feelings about tones they definitely want, tones they want to avoid? Anywhere on that spectrum from dark and, serious to lighthearted and humorous?
I mean, I think that there's somewhere in the middle, right? Like, I don't know if I know how to refrain from making bad jokes. I can try really hard if we want to stay very serious, but I do think that there's room for both. Ben, what do you think?
So I liked what Ben said about drama. I'm definitely all about drama. I'm never against romance being in any game I've ever played. So that just popped into my head now. And not that I feel like I need that, but I'm never against it by any means. I don't have a strong feeling between lighthearted or delving into depths of soul. Although I guess I would like to see the drama, but also some somewhat deep stuff. And I noticed in the guidebook one of the questions under tone is how miraculous will we make our world? And I am definitely pro miraculous, especially given the source material of the game and the story. And I would love to have miracles involved in the story and in our game. So I'm pro miracles.
Love it. I'm also pro miracles. What about Ben B?
So BB here is really good. Feeling comfortable about I want to start out with really just everyday, super normal, and the miracles. It's I want those to be the sparks throughout the game. But nothing so I don't know, it's the morning here. A story where the sky breaks is something I'm not for this morning. I want to be more small miracles that are oh my gosh, what has happened? What is this? It's there's an egg that's hatching and a baby's inside or something, a small, really weird miracle would be great.
All right. Small, weird miracles it is. Love it. So we're all well versed in role-playing games here, so we can skip that preamble. We've also already established how long we're going to play. And we can navigate breaks as we come to them. So as I was mentioning before, there's a lot of safety tools that are going to be at our disposal this evening. One of them is open door policy, which just means if anything comes up, any reason anyone needs to step away temporarily or permanently, that's always available. We're also going to bring in lines and veils, which we'll go into more depth in a minute, where people can establish topics or themes that they definitely don't want in the game, or that they are okay with having in the game, but don't want to kind of happen off screen. We also have the X card, not physically, but we can refer to it, put it in the chat, hold up hands, say X, which basically just means I want to eliminate something that just happened with no questions asked from the game. We have a concept also of not enough and too much, which is a way of indicating to the other players that it's sort of a brakes and a gas pedal, right? I want more of what's happening, even if it might seem uncomfortable for my character or for me, or let's just pump the brakes. I'm okay with this happening, but I want to ease up. In general, we just encourage everyone to say whatever any needs they have as far as changing the narrative or the tone or the pace of the game. One tool which is just always available is just taking a break. In Nishtana, we call that Shulchan Aruch, or a moment of respite, which is just taking a break. And anyone can ask for that at any time, or maybe by consensus we'll say now might seem like a good time for a Shulchan Aruch break, and we'll take that. And then finally, we have our very own mechanic called wait, wait, wait. And so wait, wait, wait is a beloved part of Nishtana, and it's always available to you. It's something you can say at any time, or you can hold up your fingers, make a W. And that just means, wait, I want to say something. I want to ask a question. I want to make a suggestion. It can be a question about the game. It can be a question about what's happening in a scene. It can be a suggestion like, maybe I want to take a break right now, or a suggestion for what someone else's character might want to say to your character. So does anyone want to try? Does anyone want to try waiting right now?
Wait. So one thing one thing I want to say about wait is that it's an exciting part of the Seder because it represents the thing that we do at the table as family, where people just cut in and just and the conversation veers left, right? So you can just say an appropriate a thought that's related to this, even what happened today that reminds you of something that's happening in the game, or these are these little moments where you break from character are welcome, and they're designed and built into the game because it's representing what we do at our family table. And something about breaks, unlike a number of games, we consider them a safety mechanic. So you can just take a respite, and so they're built into the game where you have an optional moment between certain scenes, where it says, this is an appropriate time where you might want to take a break. And we have essays and music that you can listen to in those moments. Yeah. And so that was a really brilliant move on Gabrielle's part. So thank you.
Wait. Are you saying that wait can be literally anything?
Yeah. As long as it doesn't impinge on some established safety mechanic someone else has already called for.
Awesome.
I will try my best to behave.
Not behaving is the best kind of behavior when it comes to wait.
Well, this is my new favorite game then. Just throwing that out there.
I guess it is worth mentioning, right, that the one thing that we all want to make sure we're doing is being respectful of each other. So one thing to kind of be aware of is making sure that any fun any one of us is having isn't making anyone else uncomfortable. So we're all just going to be kind of encouraged to kind of keep an eye on each other's reactions, sort of check in with each other if we feel like we need to, and just kind of make sure that we're all having a good time.
Yeah, I think wait. As long as we're not acting as the awkward uncle at the table, we're gonna have a great time. So I'm so happy to be here. And
Wait.
Yeah.
Does your table at Passover have an awkward uncle?
I think I'm the awkward uncle, to be fair.
I think every one of us has had our awkward uncle moment in turn. All right. Cool. So that is whether you knew it or not, we just concluded our first ritual, which was Kadesh, the ritual of welcome. And we sort of established the setting, the sort of the tone and expectations and safety mechanics of our game. What we're going to conclude this ritual with is actually establishing those lines and veils I mentioned earlier. So we have a game sheet that I put in the chat. I'll share the link one more time. And this is going to be our sort of virtual shared notes space throughout our game session. And the very first tab in there is a reference sheet, which is sort of summarized everything I've already said and everything else we're going to kind of cover as we set the stage for our game. But the second tab's called Lines and Veils. And you'll notice there we have a list already of potential themes that some people choose not to have in their game. So as you're looking through those, if any of those are things you just don't want to exist in our game at all, just check the box for line there. If you are okay with them existing in the world of the game, but you just don't want us to dwell on them, you don't want them to be actively role-played or explored in depth, you can veil them. And then ask is an option for if you want people to check in before introducing that theme into the game. And any stronger check will override any weaker check. So if someone lines something someone else has veiled, it's going to become a line, etc.
Wait, just for the folks at home who are watching the stream, what we're looking at is like a Google Sheet. Like where it's like a repository of different information. In some communities, this is called a character keeper. And it's just like a useful place where we can all see each other's characters all in just one page. So
exactly.
I've had a lot of conversations on the show with people about safety tools, and this is the first time I've seen a like checklist of like potential themes for lines and veils that just helps prompt you, which I find to be brilliant. I think that's just so wonderful and amazing. I am wondering how you all feel about, like, because I know people have different feelings about sharing lines and veils on stream and podcast. Some people who do actual play think it's like good to do that. Other people think like it's bad because if it's line and a veil, it might not be something you want to like tell people is your trigger. Like, oh, I just told the world what my triggers are that I don't want, so that could be dangerous. So I don't know, how do you guys feel about that?
So what we should do is everyone put in the chat right now, share or don't share. And then if anyone says don't share, we won't share. All right, so we're not going to share the lines and veils on this stream.
And that's that was a great way to handle it. Thank you for doing it that way. I'm learning safety tools right now as we're doing this. This is great.
I want to give, by the way, a shout out to where I first saw the checklist in this format. It was the design team of Women Are Werewolves at PAX Unplugged in the before times. And that was the first time I saw it. And I was like, mind blown. I love this idea.
It's great.
All right, so we'll just take a minute to review the lines, veils, and asks, and then just put in the chat when you're done reviewing them.
Yeah, and if something comes up just in play, you can just exit.
Yeah, or say, actually, I should have made this a veil, or whatever, and you can either use the chat or speak out whatever you're more comfortable with.
Fabulous.
You can also always just, actually, I don't know if people private message me on this Zoom?
You can.
Cool. So you can also just private message me or anyone else you feel comfortable private messaging.
And for our group here in our gathering, it's worth saying that as we are additionally recording the Zoom call in addition to recording for people to watch us later, the one thing that's not recorded is the private messages. So if there is a private message that is sensitive, it's not being recorded to be reviewed later. So I thought that might be worthwhile to share here for one another.
Okay, great. So I've just concluded the ritual of Kadesh, and I'm going to close this ritual and pass the role of ritual guide to BB.
So thank you so much for passing it to me. This is actually my favorite ritual. It's Megid, the story of Exodus. So we'll take turns reading out portions of the story. Just so everyone knows, we're on like page 56 of the PDF. And this is so that we can establish a common reference for the story that we will tell, because then we can totally veer clear of it. Like we don't need to address anything on this page. So I think there's like little lines. And so I want to go by like who entered the Zoom, like in that order. So I think was it Gabrielle and then Benjamin?
Actually, Melissa was here originally when I got in. So I think Melissa was in first.
That's true.
Okay, so Melissa and then Gabrielle.
And then me, and then
Benjamin, and then BB. Okay, so that'll be the order. And we'll switch at the line break. So.
All right, I guess I'm up. Many, many years ago, the children of Israel thrived in the land of Egypt. But there came to be a new Egyptian king, a pharaoh, who saw in the Hebrew people a threat. They did not worship him or his gods, so the pharaoh bound the Hebrew people with chains and drove them with the lash. He oppressed them with harsh labor. Even still, Pharaoh feared the strength of the Hebrew people. He decreed that all Hebrew boys be executed, lest they one day rise up in arms against him. Many hid their sons to no avail. However, one family did willingly give up their child, not to the Pharaoh's enforcers, but to the river Nile. A woman swaddled her baby brother in a papyrus basket, whispered a small blessing, and offered him to the waters.
Downstream, another young woman bathed in the shallows, golden bracelets clinking. She heard a mewling cry from the reeds beside her and waded deeper in to investigate. She unwrapped the wriggling bundle and gasped. She had not yet borne a son, and she knew that no matter what her royal father said, this child was hers. Gathering the baby in her arms, she cooed, Moses, a fine name for a prince. Growing up in Pharaoh's palace, Moses was ever grateful for his life of leisure. His mother, the princess, shielded him from Pharaoh's worst outbursts and never failed to remind him of his luck in escaping an early grave. Moses strove to live up to her expectations, but he stumbled through the days just as he stumbled over his words. One day Moses happened upon a show of cruelty that broke through his haze. An Egyptian man was beating a Hebrew child laboring in his field, unyielding until he heard the crack of bone. Enraged, Moses slew the Egyptian man and fled.
In his exile, Moses won the hand of a Midian woman and started a family, working as a shepherd for her father's flocks. Many years passed until Moses came across a bush in the desert, bursting with buds of fire. As Moses tread near, the flames licked their way along the branches and blossomed into orange and blue, but the bush did not crumble. A voice emerged from the crackle and hiss. Moses, I am the one true God. I have heard the cries of the enslaved. You must return to Egypt, not as a prince, but as a child of Israel. Free your people, deliver them to a new land. Moses returned to Egypt and reunited with his siblings. With the help of his brother Aaron, he challenged the Pharaoh. Free our people or face a wrath far greater than your own, they demanded. As proof of the power of the one true God, Aaron's staff transformed into a serpent that snapped and spat venom at the king. But the Pharaoh had seen such minor magics before. He rejected the Hebrew suit.
In retaliation, God brought plagues of blood, boil, disease, locust, darkness to all the people and lay waste to their false gods. However, with each plague, the Pharaoh's heart hardened. He heaped further pain upon the Hebrews. Finally, God sent an angel of death over the city. He warned the true believers to mark their doors in lamb's blood, lest they too succumb. In one sigh, the lives of all the firstborn sons in Egypt were snuffed out, save those whose homes had heeded God's word. The next morning, Pharaoh freed the Israelites. I will not have them in my sight, he sobbed. My own boy's soul has been snatched away. Let the Hebrews revel in their freedom for now. So the Hebrew people fled, leaving behind what they could not carry. Soon, however, the Pharaoh sent his armies to overtake the Israelites and drive them into the sea. But God is good. He gave his people passage across the Red Sea, crashing the waves over their pursuers, and guided them onward to a promised land of milk and honey. Consider the relevance of ritual, the terror of asymmetrical power structures, the search for a home of one's own. These themes will hold true in our story, as they have for every telling of the tale. And so the ritual action right now is that wherever you are, we're going to have a toast to the gathering of friends and the opportunity to celebrate. A toast. Wait. So one of my favorite moments. Yeah.
Sorry, I was muted and I didn't realize it. I said wait when I was on mute. My reason for saying wait is because I had a problem with Zoom. So we're still recording this. I just have to bring all of us back to the stream for our viewers to see. And so there's just one more, and that's me. So forgive me. It'll just take like one more second. I did that thing where Zoom, you can minimize, and then it becomes like a little tiny version of Zoom in the corner of your screen by accident. If you do that, it no longer works with OBS, and you have to reset every single one of the things. We are now good to go, and I will do my best to not do that again. So I'm sorry for interrupting our ritual.
No, that's what wait is for.
That is the point. It is a cluster storm of interruptions. I have a question. Should I repeat anything?
No. So the audio was going through. I mean, we could redo that part, but it's up to us. Like, people could hear it. You know what? The cluster of I say consider it an interruption. It was like Zoom was like, wait, I'm taking away your video, but we heard your voice the whole time. So
okay, sounds great.
Did you catch our toast? Should we toast again?
We should toast again.
Let's like, I'm gonna toast this and put some jam in it. Ready? A toast. So wait. One of my favorite moments of the Rocky Horror Picture Show is when Frankenfurter says a toast, and we literally just all throw toast at the screen, and I don't know. I just had that thought.
I also love that. And perhaps, Ben, our shared love of the Rocky Horror Picture Show is why we wanted to create a ritual game together.
Oh, that's true. I would love to make a Rocky Horror role-playing game.
Oh my god!
All right, that'll be our next project. a real departure, perhaps. Perhaps not.
I close this ritual and pass the ritual guide to Melissa. Would you feel comfortable leading the ritual of Urkot?
Sure. I will give it a shot. All right.
And you can. There's no such thing as no backsies. You can just like toss it back to us if you like feel comfortable.
Got it. So this is Urkot's wash. Is that right? Wash. Starting the ritual. We cleanse this space to start our journey. Okay, so everyone is going to clean something. For example, you could sanitize your hands, wipe your glasses, or throw away a piece of trash. I'm going to clean my glasses.
I'm dusting my space.
You could market this game as a way to get minor chores done while having fun. All right, are we all clean, Ben?
Okay.
All righty. All right, we will take turns reading descriptions from the character playbooks and choose a character whose path you wish to walk. Complete the Create Your Character section in the printed playbook or game sheet, and feel free to change character pronoun. Read over your character moves and consider as you play questions. So I guess we can pause there, and when we're done, we can introduce ourselves. And if we are unsure or if we have any questions, we can use wait. So I don't know, should I read each of these characters? I'm asking you, show host.
Do you want to do it in Zoom order, like Melissa, Gabrielle, Ben, Bibi?
Yeah, or sure, we can do that.
Do we want to do that off screen or?
We can do. I don't know. I'd say it's good for people watching. Might want to hear the descriptions if that works for everybody.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Okay, then I guess I'm up again. Miriam, sister to Moses and Aaron. Oh, wait. Ben, what does that make you think of? Aaron. How do we say Aaron? Come on, work with me here.
Oh, you're thinking of Aaron? Is that what you're saying?
Yes,
Love it.
You are the first woman prophet and Moses' older sister. You are a singer of songs and a player of music. Speaking of songs, our dog is playing one for us right now with her collar. Your songs inspire others to imagine a better future, but you see what truly lies ahead. God shows you visions and signs of what is to come. Now it falls to you to guide your people forward, even if some aren't listening and others would rather you stay silent.
Bibi, am I up next? My Zoom is in a different order. Okay, thanks. Next up is Moses, husband to Zipporah, adopted son of Bitya. You grew up in Pharaoh's court, far away from the agonies that your fellow Hebrews endure. But you finally saw the truth, defying Pharaoh's will by killing a slave master you found beating his Hebrew charge. God speaks to you through angels, the environment, and sometimes directly. You, on the other hand, are heavy of tongue and ineloquent. You stumble over the simplest of greetings.
Zipporah is the wife to Moses. You are one of 7 sisters and the one who holds your family together. Daughter to Jethro, a Midian high priest. You grew up in a severe household, but you never felt truly grounded until you first met Moses. Your father threw him in a pit for disobeying Pharaoh, but you cared for him in secret, bringing him food and water. Eventually Moses was granted your hand in marriage, which pleased you greatly. Though you are not of Hebrew descent, you follow God's commandments with zeal, destroying false idols and performing a ritual circumcision of your son. You defend what you love with a fierce passion.
Aaron, brother to Miriam and Moses. You are 3 years older than your brother Moses and a lifetime apart. Raised as a slave in Egypt, you rise each day to hard labor and cruel punishment. Yet you resist. You are unafraid to speak up to anyone, regardless of class or station, if it means lifting the voices of others. Everyone knows who you are. You're a holy man, with a rod that God has imbued with great gifts. You speak truth to power, and you never know when you've gone too far.
Wait. Is Ben glitching for everybody else too? Bibi, that is?
No.
Oh, it's my Wi-Fi. Okay, thanks.
All right. I think this is Bitya. Is that right? I'm going to go with that. Bitya. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just about to say, like Gabrielle, I'm always glitching, so it's perfectly understandable from your perspective. So don't worry.
Ben BB is also literally a half a world away right now. So if he glitches a little, and that's the worst of it, I'm okay with it. All right. So she is the adoptive mother of Moses and daughter of Pharaoh. You are the princess of Egypt. The height of your status is matched only by the breadth of your kindness. You are intimate with the waters of Egypt. You live amongst threats that lurk beneath the surface all around you. While you owe your lifestyle to your royal pedigree, you know that family is not based in blood, but is chosen and sometimes found. The ties you have woven will be tested as you are pulled between your adopted child and the living God, the Pharaoh, the one who has given you everything you know.
Pharaoh, father of Bitya, you are the lord and ruler of the land of Egypt, newly ascended to the throne. Your father was revered as kind and just, but this is a new age. You know that the Hebrews are a threat to be ground down and a resource to be exploited. You will spare no cruelty to bend them to your will. The only thing you can't break is their foolish faith. You worship many gods, and each have their uses. Your daughter, bless her soft and weak heart, has a tendency to take in orphans to raise as her own. You let her, for they may prove the most useful of all. And if you continue to the next page, you'll see a family, kind of a relationship map, which you may also find helpful.
I close this ritual and pass the role of ritual guide to...
Wait. So
almost.
what
We gotta pick our
characters do you want to play?
characters. We've met them, but now we have to choose them.
That is a really important part.
That might be like just like because people are reading through this as they play for the first time.
Yeah, we have to put that part at the end. That's a good note.
Yeah, but we'll put it at the end. So, are there any characters anyone's drawn to, specifically Ben or Melissa? Because I've played all of them, so.
I would say that my first reaction is that I would be drawn. I would play any of them. They all sound very interesting to play. I've always loved the character. I've always loved Miriam. I think Miriam would be very interesting to play. But I also have an intrigue to play Moses because specifically the idea of being heavy of tongue and ineloquent is in stumbling over the simplest of greetings. It appeals to me. So either of those characters, but honestly also any of them.
And also you have a fabulous beard, so like Benjamin, I think you'd be perfect.
Be a perfect Moses.
I was also going to say Miriam, and as soon as Ben started talking, I was like, I know he's going to pick Miriam. So if you're cool with Moses, I would love to take a crack at playing Miriam.
Fabulous. That sounds great.
BB, I realize I don't think I've ever played Pharaoh, and I want to today, if that's okay.
Do it. And so if you're going to be playing Pharaoh, I'm going to play Bitya, just so that Pharaoh's more like tightly drawn into the story.
Wonderful.
And so Bitya's the daughter. So. But of course, you can always just change pronouns and reinterpret the characters. So it's perfectly fine. In the introduction of the game, Pharaoh's framed as a woman. Like, so it's
yeah,
fine.
Any character can be played with any gender identity. So yeah, go ahead into the game sheet, find your character, and there's a place to put your player name and pronouns. And then if you want to add pronouns to the character name, you may. And you'll see right underneath your name and brief character description, a little shorthand of like things you can do at any time, your safety tools. And then you see your two special moves, your character moves, and a little prompt as when you might want a suggestion as to when to use those moves. And there's also a space to describe your character. So what are your pronouns? Then some specific prompts for your character, and some open space to kind of fill in notes there.
Gabrielle, I see you chose amount of cushions for your throne.
Mm-hmm.
In that case, I think I'm going to pick a public sauna just to get that warm plush setting for like a palace.
Love it. And whenever you're done setting up your character, just say done in the chat.
Sorry, we were talking about Moses. I think I missed somebody say something. I apologize.
Oh, no worries. I was just saying whenever you're done and ready to introduce your character, just put done in the chat so we know. Great. Melissa, you're still the ritual guide if you want to kind of orchestrate our character introductions.
Sure. So I'm going to go in the order that they are on the sheet because that's easy for me to remember. So Miriam is first, and that is me. So Miriam's the sister to Moses and Aaron.
Wait. I can hear Melissa echoing. Benjamin can hear.
Yeah, we're getting some echo.
Cool.
How about now? Better? Okay, great.
Yeah.
Miriam is the sister to Moses and Aaron. Her pronouns are she and her. Her instrument is a tambourine made of broken mirrors. Her visions appear to her in a shaded place. And when she performs, she appears calm, almost regal, and is awe-inspiring. She would describe herself as a soaring ibis.
Did you make this tambourine yourself, Miriam?
Oh, absolutely.
Ooh. And like in the mirrors, this is just like a question. I approach role-playing games like fan fiction. Like when you look in the mirrors, like is it what image is reflected? Is it there at the scene, or like what if it's like somewhere else?
Well, it depends, because if I'm in a shaded place from time to time, I will see visions in the mirrors.
Oh, okay, so that's beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah. Moses is up next. Go ahead, Moses.
So I'm playing Moses, husband to Zipporah, adopted son of Bitya. Moses' pronouns are he, him. The voice of God is an electric voice. Where is the one place you feel comfortable speaking and why? I picked a queer place. How do you stand when you're spoken to? I wrote with a head hung low. Describe yourself. I chose worn sandals. And that's the Moses stuff.
What does queer place mean to you?
I knew you were going to ask that, and I realized as I was saying it, I was like, I don't have an answer. I think
we can discover. We can play to find out.
I was going to say I'd like to play to find out a little bit. I have like a kind of idea of it, but I think it's going to end up depending on like how the story takes shape and like the environment. But I'm just thinking like I'm appealed to it in the most like vague way that it comes across, which is just like I'm drawn to the idea of it being a queer place, but I'm not sure what that queer place is yet.
So whenever you have like a clear idea of like what you like the idea might be, like just introduce it, you know.
Okay.
I like the worn sandals. I'm like seeing you, Moses, as like just kind of like slightly worn down.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you worn down?
I think that my desire to play Moses in this is somebody who hears the electric voice of God as being like ceaseless call. Oh, I didn't pick ceaseless voice, which is interesting, but like I picked electric because it's for me, I want it to be a call to justice, like a never ending call to justice, like an electric call to justice. And I think the worn sandals for me is sort of that he feels worn down by like constant moving from place to place and family to family, right? From Hebrew family as an infant to Egyptian palace family to Midianite family to back into Hebrew family, and like that constant change of identity, and then so worn out for worn in the way of like worn by life, worn by injustice, worn by the experience of changed identity and discovering identity, worn by literally like walking the desert, like that kind of idea of worn.
Thank you.
So why do you hang your head when you're spoken to?
I think that this Moses is torn between God's call to justice and the fear of speaking, and the fear of like having to speak against power. And none of us is playing. Yeah, go ahead.
Wait. Is this fear like rooted in like a personal experience you've had? Like, because you are called to action, like you're saying, but you were like worn down not only by like all the movements, but it sounds like there's like something that's happened. Right?
So I think it's
that
more
you're
like
actually fearful.
I think it's more like the fear is from uncertainty of identity, and having shifted from identity space to identity space. The fear is like fear of being misplaced, misspeaking, not belonging kind of fear, rather than like a direct experience.
Wait. When you were asking, BB, I was like, are we about to get real meta? Because I thought you were asking Benjamin Wallis, like personally. And then I realized we were talking about his character still. But I was thinking like all of these things can apply. And then it made me think of how tied to our characters we can become personally, because, not to get into a bigger conversation, but game playing can be so cathartic and so therapeutic. And if you're marrying that, which already exists in gameplay, with religion and learning about religion and ritual and tradition, I think that there's something just extremely powerful about that.
I think that's like perfect, Melissa. Like, especially in this game, there's moments where we're called out to address how this affects and is related to our personal life. Like we were just, cleaning something in real life, right? So it's fine to play close to home. Yeah. That's really cool, Benjamin. And I'm looking forward to exploring those themes with you.
Thank you. Me too.
All right. It looks like Bitya is up next.
Ooh. So, Bitya, the adoptive mother of Moses and daughter of Pharaoh. So, my pronouns are just refer to me as the princess, please. Even when I'm not in the room. And my bathhouse is a public sauna. And so like the kingdom is welcome here. And I even let the Hebrew people in. Like I am a very benevolent and slightly older princess. And one reason for that is I've experienced loss in my life. And I think that the gift of just like a nice warm soak with like all sorts of people around is just like a really, and this is to pull in Melissa's point, cathartic experience. And I think the loss might be of my mother, or actually to get into themes of like queer space, and I'm going to use this as like the LGBT like queer, is I think my lover, a Midian princess, or maybe like one of my handmaids actually, is the one who, is not here anymore. And so I compensate for that, trying to welcome all sorts of types into my home, but I still feel an emptiness like inside. And hopefully the bath will distract me for a while. How do I express my affection for my handmaidens? I invite them to my midnight symposiums. We drink, we dance, we let the seaweed tangle in our hair as we bask in the light of the moon with white crocodiles. And it's only ever so often that one of them is eaten. So,
wait! I want to go to a midnight symposium. I mean, me, Ben, not Moses. Sounds amazing.
Just make sure you don't get eaten.
Well, yeah, I don't want to
Yeah.
get eaten.
Describe yourself. I am a hungry crocodile.
Where's my? Wait! You don't like shapeshift into a crocodile and eat people every once in a while, do you?
That's only what the people say. Don't worry about it.
All
There are
right,
definitely
then.
rumors of this in the kingdom that are neither confirmed or denied, but may show up in our game.
I love it. And that brings us to Pharaoh.
All right. So I'm playing Pharaoh, just Pharaoh, pronouns royal we. My throne is a mound of cushions. I don't know if any of you have seen, is it Spirited Away with the big baby? That room with that, it's like that room, just like full of
Yeah,
pillows.
you're talking about like the not Yaziba. That's that's a different game. It's
Yubaba's baby.
Vecino Major. Yubaba, yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah,
room
perfect.
full of cushions. Just absolutely, you can't not be comfortable. You cannot not be sort of enveloped, comforted, and that's where I spend my days. And what fear do I hide behind my cruelty? Of the options, I chose the unknown. But really, it's the uncomfort of the unknown. So it's the uncomfort of being taken out of that which I know will swaddle me, essentially. And how do I control my image? By giving gifts to the right people. So I know that everyone wants to be comfortable. There's nothing better in the world than comfort. And I know that people will do almost anything for the assurance that they and theirs will never want for anything. So, I know how to give things to the right people, to threaten to take away comfort from the right other people. That's how I control not just my image, but my kingdom. And I describe myself as a preening cat. Just like how that cat always has that spot in the sun on the pillow. That's me.
That's awesome. I love that image of a preening cat.
Is your round of cushions outside? Or are you in like a solarium?
Yeah, I definitely not outside. What if it rains? That's not very comfortable, right? Definitely a controlled
I mean, you could just
environment.
have people take it in.
No. I don't want to risk getting wet. I'm a preening cat after all. No, so definitely an enclosed environment, but with lots of light coming in. So solarium is perfect. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Awesome.
Pharaoh, are you the one who's responsible for my loss?
You're gonna have to play to find
good
out.
question.
Okay.
I Gabrielle,
Good question.
have an answer to that, but I want to reveal that when the time is right in the story.
That's awesome. I cannot wait. Do we have any other character questions before we end the ritual?
I do not.
Oh, all right, then I close this ritual and pass the role of ritual guide to Ben Wallis, who is my husband. That's you. You're up.
Thank you for being very specific. So the next ritual is optional. So do I introduce it as optional, or what is the preferred way of going through this one?
Yeah, I would love to just introduce it, and because I want to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the next ritual is Shulhan Orai, setting the table, a moment of respite. It's this is optional, so anyone could say, "Let's take a break."
Yeah, let's take a break.
And there are some possible actions. like taking time away. Everyone eats a meal, drink water, someone sings, listen to music, read an essay, reflect on connections to the present day.
And can I wait? Can I also point out for folks who are watching that in the document for the game there are links to listen to music and read an essay, which are really cool ideas.
So I am going to, as I'm leading this break ritual, switch for our viewers, our OBS, our feed here on this video, to our Be Right Back screen. And then all of us who are in our gathering space will do what we need to do for the break, and then we will come back. So viewers, we will take a real break. So enjoy. You all get to take a break watching this stream. I encourage you all to participate in the ritual by taking a break, and then we will be right back. Okay. We got waited for our break, so I brought us back from the Be Right Back screen.
Oh, you can keep the Be Right Back.
No, it's okay. I brought it back. How long
wanted to know how long our break is going to be.
Good question. How long do folks want our break to be?
Can we come back at the 30-minute mark?
8 minutes also works. Yeah,
at the half-past mark.
Perfect. 8 minutes and...
That's perfect.
All right. We will actually be right back in 8 minutes. We are back. We are back from our break. And people watching, if you waited 8 minutes and then came back, may have noticed that for the last however long hour of this show, the name tags have been wrong until I caught it just a second ago and fixed it. So we have correct name tags now. I do not believe they were correct before. Or we were playing different roles. Who knows? So we're back from the break. Okay, so let me see this ritual that I was leading. Does anybody want to say the ending the break line? Ben, you said the let's take a break. So do you want to say the next thing or should I?
Yeah, but now where were we? That's my question.
I think we were moving on.
That's what he's supposed to say.
Yeah, I know. So this doesn't prompt me to pass the...
Yeah, wait. So where we were, I think, was back at the ending the ritual from Urchatz. And it's another note for us to kind of make that more clear in our guidebook. But if we go back up, yeah.
So should I lead the next ritual after the break?
Sure.
Yeah.
So this
That'd
is
be great.
Karpas, fresh vegetables prologue. In the cracks of...
Wait. Look at the screen, Ben.
How did you... What just...
It was a prophetic vision.
I really needed to do one good by the book. Wait. I'm done now. Go ahead. You may continue.
In the cracks of an old ruin, new life begins to sprout. We can appreciate both what is past and what is yet to come. We're going to share with each other something old or that has been ours for a long time and describe how it has a new use or meaning in your life. So I have one that I'm excited about. This T-shirt, and I hope I can show it on the feed. Yes, good. It's coming through my virtual background. This is a Strong Bad T-shirt that I have had since like 2002 or something. So this is almost a 20-year-old T-shirt. It's got a bunch of holes in it. Let's see where I can show you some. Yeah, like there's just like a big hole at the top. So I have a bunch of T-shirts actually that I've had for like 20 plus years. I have some that are older than this one, but the way it's become something new is because I'm a parent now of 3 children, and my children like Strong Bad. So like the something new part is the love of Strong Bad part of it that we have now passed on to our children, and so that's how it's become new for me. And I guess we're all going to do this, right? So I will invite whoever feels very strongly about their sharing item to go next and speak forward.
Yeah, and we can always just like do the order of how people got into Zoom if you feel comfortable. But
I just really wanted to invite whoever felt strongly for some reason.
That's true. I'm sorry.
I was led. That's all. No, it's okay.
I'm sorry. I'm being the uncle. Okay.
Do you feel strongly, BB, or was that was what you wanted to say?
That's what I wanted to say, but I can go.
Well, do you feel strongly?
I feel strongly. I'm gonna say it strongly. I feel strongly about this. So, I have been going to. So the object I brought today is like this big like LARP staff. Because I'm not sure. It's like staff that I'm making right now, and it's for like combat like fighting, and I have been LARPing since I was 18, so that's like been 50 years now, right? And
that's
so
a long time.
And so I finally getting back into it in communities here in Kansai, and it's like, I don't know, Japanese LARP is like so good. Because there's not many places to do it, and there's not that many green spaces that are as super accessible, because not everyone has a car, most people carpool, like everyone like really goes hard with like outfits and like the costumes, like the cosplay like culture blend is super strong to get that verisimilitude, even if you're just like LARPing next to the river, right? And so I went to a battle royale last weekend outside Nagoya, and it was just like so good. Yeah, so that's giving me life, and it's something that's literally become new and a new context, and it's a different tradition. So yeah, that's what I'm excited about.
That's so cool.
Thank you for sharing that. Who feels also feels
I can go next. So my object is something that I bet BB will recognize, because this is a glass ornament that was made by both of our aunt, our late aunt, who was my aunt and Ben's and BB's aunt. Her name was Mary. And you know, she passed away when I was in high school, and she was always a very positive presence in my life. And one of the really cool, like, physical artifacts she left behind are these orbs that she made. She was a glass blower, amongst many other things, a painter, a poet. And this has just been sitting on my shelf for a long time. Every time I pass by it and see it, it makes me think of her, and I think of her fondly. But recently, for the first time ever, I did glass blowing. Like, well, not glass blowing, but glass manipulating. I was in Asheville, North Carolina, visiting my sister, and she recommended to me to do a workshop at this glassworks in North Carolina, and I did. And I got to make my own pint glass with color, and it was an amazing experience. And after doing it, I just felt, you know, so connected to glass pieces around me, things that had been made by hand, and also to my Aunt Mary. So now when I look at this, I have a new appreciation for it.
Cool. That's super cool. Thank you for sharing.
I guess I'm up now, huh? So this one was hard for me. Okay, so to make a long story short, my cat Gannon is like, he's over 15 and my brain can't math right now. So I was like, well, I mean, I've had him for a long time, but he's old and grumpy and stays in one spot and doesn't necessarily have a new meaning in my life right now. So I let him just be. I let him be who he is in his grumpiness under the table.
I was going to say the one new meaning that could have in your life is that we have a dog now, and the new meaning is that he has now become a dog enemy for our dog.
It could be,
but that's not what I chose.
What did you choose, Melissa? Please.
So this is a little bit convoluted, so bear with me. Okay, these are checkbooks. Can you see them? They're checkbooks. This first checkbook, they all have like the carbon copies in them, is almost completely empty. But the first check in it dates back to when Ben and I met in 2016 and were completely insane and decided to have joint bank accounts. So I don't think we were even living together at the time. No, we definitely weren't, because his address at the rectory is on these checks still and my name is different. But I've been holding on to this, like, it's got a water stain that is kind of visible there. Anyway, if you take a look at them, it reminds me of like our life. There's many checks in here for infant and child care for my two biological children, and they are very expensive. And all kinds of things that we did that we wrote checks for, which I didn't even realize like we wrote that many checks these days. But then there's a couple in here dated 2021 because we lost all of our brand new checks. We found them. Well, we reordered them and had to write a couple checks. And there's one in here for our dog, Maggie. And this is the new meaning part, right? It's twofold, right? Like literally new, because some of these are dated 2021. And apparently, even though all the information on the top is wrong, they'll still take your money if the bank account number is right. But the new meaning is, that these new checks that we ordered, same number as the old one, but it reflects a new beginning for both of us. You know, we both have the same last name on the new checks. our address is different because we bought a house, and it's meaningful because, Ben and I decided to start a life together, but also because that represents so much more in my life and like growing. Yeah. So yeah, that's my long story about my checkbook. And yes, my cat definitely does live up to the name Ganon. He's like the evil wizard from Zelda. That's where his name comes from. He was almost named Donkey Kong, but I went with Ganon.
That sounds great. And so beautiful. And I'm just thinking like, Ganon has the, I forget what it's called, like something of strength, right? Like something of power. Whereas Zelda has like wisdom, Ganon has power, and that's super cool. I hope your dog has wisdom.
I don't know.
We'll
see if she has wisdom. She's a year old today when we're recording this. Ooh. I don't know if she's quite gained wisdom yet. She's still impulsive. The thing I read in an email about her birthday said that at a year old, she should now have impulse control. She does not. So we'll see when the wisdom and the impulse control come into play.
Yeah, the Triforce of Power it was. Thank you so much.
I was trying to put my finger on that, so that's great.
I put it in the chat because I wasn't sure. I was like, I don't want to be wrong. On air anyway.
No, Melissa, you have the deep cut. So thank you.
Hey, I'm back at the end here of the episode. Huge thanks again to Gabrielle and Ben for introducing Mel and I to Nishtana. I know it ends kind of abruptly here, but you're going to be able to pick up right where we left off next week in the second half of our actual play stream. I hope you enjoyed the first half of our game, and I hope you'll come back to see that second half next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Thanks to Mel for playing with us in this episode. If you want to hear more of Mel and myself, make sure that you check out our podcast, Pod of Love, where we play relationship and romance TTRPGs to tell the story of Charity, Maine, a small town with a haunted secret, government conspiracies, and unique businesses. It's part audio drama, part comedy, part actual play, all fun. Season 2 begins at episode 61, Welcome to Charity, Maine. It's a really fun ride. There's a lot of jokes, a lot of comedy, a lot of romance, really sweet stories of love. There's a lot of humor in it. There's horror in it too, and sci-fi. So it's sort of a mix of comedy, horror, sci-fi, and romance. At the heart of which is the story of one particular couple and two people. You meet them at the beginning of the season, then you sort of follow them along for a little while. You meet a bunch of other people who are important to the town. It gets a bit broader and broader and broader, and then kind of comes back to that first couple at the end of the season, and tells at least partially the end of their story, but there's maybe some more in the future to come. So that's season 2. We tell the story of Charity, Maine. And I hope you'll check it out. I think it's pretty good. I think not many people have listened to it, but it's pretty good. So here on Holy Happy Hour, don't forget to hit the follow button or consider subscribing to my channel. I would appreciate it if you did that. If you only got part of tonight's show, you'll be able to watch it on demand for a brief time here on Twitch, but you can always go to allportsopen.com and watch every episode of the show afterward, or you can find All Ports Open Network on YouTube. And please check out more great shows on our network. Huge thanks to Joshua Wise, my 8pun co-founder, for the artwork on this stream and all he does for the network. Thanks to Dr. Octorok for the use of his music on the show. Hey, I've been Ben, that gamer priest, and come back next week, same bad time, same bad channel, for the second part of this actual play stream of Nishtana. Enjoy the holiest and happiest of hours. Hey, maybe this night for you will be different. I don't know. All right, my friends, I will see you here next week.